Welcome to How Now, the podcast where we talk about how to live in the now. And here's your host, Kim Martin Raymond.
Peace and blessings, love and light, and welcome to this edition of the How Now podcast, where we talk about how to live in the now. I am your host, Kim Martin Raymond, and I'm a minister, spiritual life coach, holistic nutritionist, author, and founder of Redefining You LLC, where I help my clients to realign themselves, mind, body, and spirit. And this year, we are also home of the 365-day challenge, where I am challenging my listeners to make wellness a habit by creating healthy habits, both mentally, spiritually, and physically. Okay, so if this is your first time joining us on the How Now podcast, welcome to the show. We're happy to have you. Make sure that you go to my website, www.hownowpodcast.com, select your favorite podcast platform, and then be sure to like, follow, share, and subscribe. Once you get to the page, you can also go to the bottom of the page, and there's a banner on the bottom for this week's show, and it will take you to the How Now YouTube channel where you can like, follow, share, and subscribe there as well. You can check out my playlist like Tuesday, where I share a scripture verse every week. You can also go to Redefining Authenticity, which is another show that I am a co-host on. And you can find out all other things that are going on in my now. So again, that's www.hownowpodcast.com. Okay, so let's get into this evening's show where we're going to be talking about creating your happily ever after. Okay, and it's an exciting topic. And the person who is going to be sharing the stage with me this evening is going to be someone who is a former guest on the show. She's been on the show with us before. I'm excited to share space with her again. And as is customary with the How Now podcast, I'm going to have her to introduce herself at this time.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much, Kim, for having me back. I'd love to be alumni and returning alumni officially. Hello, everyone. My name is Alla Fine. I'm a Chief Executive Officer and co-founder of App@Me. It's a dynamic dating group, which is a dating app. We'll talk about that later. I'm also a CEO and founder of my own practice, Alla Fine Coaching and Matchmaking. And I do a lot of different things by being also on the Berkeley University certification program, and I help people on that program with AI. And our dating app is also AI driven and machine learning and psychology backed. So I have a lot of things going on. But as a love coach, I also have a soul program which is about dating, and it's really basically it's I help high end performers unlock love, escape loneliness, and dating burnout through my soul SOUL program. So you could at that you'll have to find by DMing me or contacting me through my website for that specifically. But all my information is on my website. Thank you so much, Kim.
Awesome. Like I said, I'm so glad to have you back and to be sharing space with you again. You came on a couple of years ago and we were talking about relationships and how they were changing. We were still in the midst of the pandemic at the time. And so, I'm happy to have you back and to talk about how things have changed since then. So, I mean, before we get into the weeds of that, let's talk a little bit about how things have been going in your practice since the last time you were here. You were here a couple of years ago. And so, have there been any dynamic changes, either personally or professionally since the last time you were here?
Well, definitely has been a lot of growth personally and professionally as well. I always live in the now, which is very actually interesting because this is we have that correlation. And I always motivate and inspire people to do the same because that's all we have. And the pandemic was unfortunately, what we all lived through. We understand how today is important. So there was a lot of personal development. I always do a lot of professional and personal development courses that I've taken master classes consistently to better my own life and life of my
Yes.
clients. And so I find that living and doing and not living and putting it off is far greater today because you don't know what tomorrow brings. So for the now and the how, we professionals can lead those who don't know. But it's the burden falls on those who don't know to ask and for self-edification in order to grow and to grow to blossom as a result. And this is an opportunity that I chose for myself as well. And so like I said, one of the things that I went is to join this program. I was recruited through LinkedIn, the advisory board for Berkeley University, and
Mm.
helping this is for businesses, for people, the business owners, how to strategize, how at the ethically with
Yeah.
AI and how to grow their businesses and with the transparency. So it's all about AI kind of driven. So I do that. It's also on my LinkedIn profile in case somebody wants to apply for the program certification. It's really amazing as for those who want to expand their learning and learn as if you're a business owner, just basic overall experience. It's really pretty incredible opportunity. Um,
Awesome.
so that's for myself in terms of personal. As far as professional, I was, like I mentioned, chief executive officer and co-founder of AppatMe, appatme.com. It's a dating app, and it's AI driven, machine learning, psychology backed, and has a matchmaking component inside to
Wow.
make those matches stick. And it's really pretty incredible. And we have a lot of opportunities that we already had grown so much. We only launched, and it was like a soft launch, not even an official launch, just last November.
Okay.
And approaching about 60,000 downloads. We're global and all over the world in over 15 languages. So
Wow.
definitely go check it out. It's pretty incredible. It's free, obviously, to download, and there's a lot of free features where other apps charge an arm and a leg. And we
Right.
have even that because we believe in love and unity and inclusiveness and spreading love. And I'm all about love. So
Yes.
it's this is why I, became, co-founder
CEO of
and
the yeah.
yes, and this is something that we're proud of, and we're trying to promote this obviously because we want people to unite people in love on their
Yeah.
level, whatever they want. And right now, globally, this kind of app is not available, uh, at least at the cost that we're offering for free.
Hmm.
So it's an opportunity certainly to engage. Obviously, there are premium features like in any app, but a lot of free features because we're
Components.
specifically
Yeah.
created on the freemium model. We have a freemium and a premium model. So this way we have the inclusivity and having people to enjoy the dating app that is actually meant for meaningful connections and matchmaking if that's what they want to go. The point is just to engage whatever, even if you want to be a friendship level, but it's still meaningful.
Yes.
You go for the quality, not for the quantity that are what we have here, like for others. No
Right.
judgment,
Right.
but we come from a place where we want united people in love and to create some, harmony and synergies between these individuals to create couples down the road. So it's all about couple driven.
Oh my goodness, I absolutely love that. You see, you are the epitome of what I talk about when I say, always come back because we never know what's happening 2 minutes, 2 hours, 2 months, 2 years from now. And here it is 2 years later. And so much has happened, in your business and in your personal growth. And that's a wonderful thing because that ties right into the 365-day challenge that I'm doing and creating healthy habits and doing things. And that's putting things into your mental, physical, and spiritual toolbox. And you've already shown that, in order for us to move that needle to be the better versions of ourselves, We have to be able to tap into things that we can do mentally. You're taking master classes, you're doing things to hone in on your craft, which is something that's magnificent. You believe in love, and that's about relationships, and and there's a spiritual base to it. There's a connection when we're talking about people coming together and creating synergies and things of that nature. So you've got that. And then of course people are just doing the physical and just being able to move their bodies and to do things that are going to help them to remain healthy and to prepare themselves for the relationships that they may foster moving forward. So it all starts from within, because when we develop that self-love and we develop those things about ourselves that are operating at an optimal level, then we can in turn around and start looking into those relationships and bringing more to the table than just the aesthetics. We're bringing the full package. So
Absolutely.
I absolutely
Absolutely.
love. And so,
Thank you.
you mentioned the AI, and of course, that stands out to me because that's something that we're seeing so much now. And then you said there's an AI component to the dating. So my question is with that, it's like, okay, when I think of AI, I think of people making generated people that are not themselves, and so that's why I'm like, uh-oh,
I know.
I'm sure you probably got some of those questions as you were rolling out the program. People saying, well, how do I know if that person is really a person or is that a manufactured person? How does that work? Because back in the old days of dating or online dating, you took your picture, and the worst that you could do was put up a picture of you younger than you were. You couldn't make
Right.
yourself look like somebody totally different. So what's the change there? How does that look?
Yeah, so this is something that we all have to be weary about because we have to roll with the punches and we are living in the AI world. So what does it mean? You have to be more vigilant. You have to be vigilant because unfortunately, yes, we now people clone themselves or clone others, and also photos have filters, and you could tell when they have filters or not. Hopefully, you can. So you have to be really carefully, looking through and reading between the lines because you could see like some images are like so perfect, then you know it's filtered. So just
Right,
look for that. If it's too perfect looking with not a one single wrinkle, you know it's filtered.
right,
Somebody who you know or may not know, you could just tell. But other than that, instead of, the point of I think dating world where we are today is unfortunately we live in the world of superficiality more
yes,
so and than ever been like back in the day where there were blind dates and you go there was no phone necessarily. I
right,
mean the phone but no
right,
photos change none of that.
right,
So you would just go and you have to go on your hunch. You have to speak into a person for on the phone for a few maybe an hour, and hopefully you get a sense if this is the person you want to meet up with.
right,
Now it's like you see a photo, it looks amazing. You go on a date, there's nothing like it. And I've
right,
heard so many of those stories, I cannot even tell you.
right,
And yet, so my approach to this, don't fret because still go on a date. And worst case scenario, you met a new human. You met a new human and check it down to that. You had a great experience, maybe yes, maybe no. You had a cup of coffee together. Otherwise, you'll be home sitting and moping. This way, you are out with a
right,
person, a human. It doesn't matter whether you meshed or you did not mesh. At least you met somebody. Maybe they inspired you in some way. Maybe they inspired your work ethics in some way. Maybe they brought some
right,
value professionally, personally to you. Maybe through their stories, you gathered something. So there's always some kind of a learning experience.
right,
And it's an opportunity just to learn and to grow. Because we sit, do nothing, we don't grow
right,
and we don't do things. And this is just an opportunity just to go out there to meet up with people. It doesn't have to be for romantic purposes. You can just meet up with people just to for the sake of for your own personal growth. So
yeah,
never fret about going on a date, and even if God forbid this person doesn't look exactly like what you've been speaking with, whom you've been
right,
speaking with for the last couple of weeks or a couple of days. So just be careful who you speak with, and in terms of be trying to be transparent and be just ask the right questions. That's the key.
yeah.
You gotta ask the right questions. how to
Right.
date effectively. That's a whole different landscape. We
Mhm.
work together now,
Mhm.
like with my clients. I mean, I have to sometimes through right questions, they get the answers,
Right.
but themselves they come up with their own answers through the right questions. So this is something that you can all learn. It's very easy, but sometimes you just have to go to a professional. Look, I mean, I have to go to professional if I need something. I
Right.
don't because I know my self worth and I know that I want to invest in myself today, not
Right.
tomorrow. Because tomorrow I want to get better, but
Right.
I won't be able to be better if I do not do something about it today.
Right.
So I don't want to
Right.
be same time next year that I have still this no clarity, no direction where I want to go and where I want to be.
And I
Yeah.
love that. Just like you said, sometimes you have to go to the professionals and be able to ask the questions. But just like you said, you have to know what to ask. And that's where it is important to have those professional people who can give you the vocabulary, because sometimes we don't have the word to articulate what it is that we need. And sometimes when we meet up with someone who is a professional in that field, they can give us the language that we need and put it into layman's terms so that it's something that we can understand and that we can in turn communicate to someone else. So I definitely see the importance in that. And I love that you say, when you're going out, we have these expectations. We expect it to be, we expect the, butterflies to be flying around our heads, and we expect for, rainbows to be going and
Right.
fireworks to be going off. And that may not necessarily be it. Like you said, it may be that you're making the connection. And some people just, if they feel like they don't have that, uh, you know, attraction to that person, that physical attraction or that sexual attraction, then they shut down completely. Some people don't take the option of saying, okay, well, maybe this person may not be a person that I'm interested in on that type of level, but they may make a decent friend. I think we're quick to shut down the relationship because, well, that's when I got enough friends. I don't need anybody else to be a friend. I don't need anybody. But we don't know if that person could be a resource in another way, like you said, for a job or for anything
Yeah.
else. And so sometimes, like you said, it's just a matter of talking to that person and saying
Yes.
that this is a human being and we're sharing a meal or we're sharing a coffee. And so, no, it may not be what I wanted it to be, but can't we just make the best of it while we're
Exactly.
here? So I
Exactly.
love that you mentioned that, because it changes the dynamic. We are so quick to put a label on things, and if it does not fit in it, we're just like, well, then forget it. But we're not realizing that we're human beings and that every situation or every relationship or every
Yeah.
interaction is not
Right.
going to be a love connection.
Exactly.
It
It's
can
the
be a
not
friend connection, and that person can be a lifelong friend. So I love that you mentioned it, you
Thank
know?
you. Yeah, no expectation. Just take it for what it is. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy
Right,
this as an opportunity to learn about a new person that
right,
may or may not bring some value into your life. And but at least you're there, as opposed to again sitting home feeling
right.
sorry for yourself.
New
But
restaurant, a new place that you've never been before, and now
right,
you can at least say that you've been there. And you may not have had to foot the bill for it either. So that's a sweet deal too at
perk,
times.
a
But
perk.
yes, it's a perk. Absolutely. So there are some things that are beneficial that come out of us having those interactions. Now I had a question, because you said, you have the AI, you have the people who have the site. Do they create profiles like they do on other sites? Or is it
Okay, so on our side, people create their own profiles. They have to upload their own photos within the guidelines. Obviously, we're not allowing anything,
right?
questionable. Has to be within the guidelines. Has to be, proper photos. And they just basically what we have, which is really cool. We have like a bunch of quizzes that determine they based on what you complete and believe me there are like so many different sections. So once you complete all the sections, let's say, and there are many, so you don't have to do it in one time. You could just
Right.
do it through, as time allows. But once you complete, let's say, what you're looking for, who is the person, where you want to be, where, like what, like who are you morally,
Mhm.
basically, and all these
Yeah.
values, morals, you completed quizzes. Who's your person? Basically, you describe it to a T by completing all these questions, the questionnaires, and then that's the matching begins. And then
Yes.
there's like further deeper level for the premium model later on. The pooling begins as well, and so you could still create your own profiles, but again, generally people don't know how to navigate the dating scene period. So
Right.
yes, if those in those cases, those who swipe and they find maybe some meaningful connection and they say, oh my god, this is great. One other feature actually we have in there, which is really amazing, is is a scheduler. What it does is keeping the momentum. When people are speaking and they say, oh, let me go check my schedule, I'll get back to you, never happens. Momentum's gone, done. This way, you can schedule right inside and
Nice.
keep that momentum flowing and create that date and go on your date. Or at least have a phone call, speak to your person and see if
Yeah.
there's some synergies and some interest, mutual, you know. But actually, you can go and grab special gift, guys. You can go to my website and get your instant guide for dating and how to create a guide for the dating guide, meaning for your platform. So, like, basically, there are like what each chapter describes how you can create on your platform, what to say, what not to say, how to say it,
I love
etc.
that. Right.
So
So it
that's a
kind of
cool.
gives them a little bit of a guideline to use,
Exactly.
or a little bit of a how to before they go into the website. And that's
Exactly.
something that's wonderful because you do sometimes you get on there and you get nervous and you're not sure
Yeah,
and you may not be clear. And at least this way it opens your mind to some things that you may not have thought about because sometimes we don't think of everything else. If we're lonely and we just want, some you're just like, I just want a warm body. I just want somebody to touch me. Some people just go to church. I just need somebody to hug me. I just need somebody to put their hands on me. And so, in their desperation to do that, they don't stop and say, "Okay, but what are some things? What are some things
and
that are deal breakers for me? What are some things that I should and
exactly.
shouldn't say?"
Guide,
Absolutely.
yeah,
So
and
I love that
places,
there's a guide.
and there's photos, which photos to apply, what's more appropriate than others. It's all breakdown. It's free guide. Just you could it'll
Awesome.
be emailed to you as soon as you put your email. It'll be emailed to you instantly. And also there's for those who are interested in matchmaking. In
Yeah.
my also on the side, I have if you complete an application, you enter the database for free.
Yeah.
So
And I
that's another
absolutely love that.
opportunity to
I love
to
that.
get. Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say I love that because not everybody is tech savvy. Not everybody is into AI or going on a dating site. So it's nice to know that they have an alternative. And that's something that I want to talk about too, because it's like you said, matchmaking. So that's where they come in. All right, we've talked a little bit about the electronic side or the automated side. Now we want to
right.
talk about the person to person side because, like you said, we're talking about creating people's happily ever after, and that looks different for everybody. Everybody is not a techie person. There are some people who are like, no, I want the old school. I want to be able to go
Exactly.
into the matchmaking or talking to a physical person who can help me, who can go back and forth because
Right.
just like I said, you can filter the information, they can find synergies, but there's no guarantee that it's going to be 100%. I may need to talk to a human being and have them tell me, okay, what do you mean by this question? Or can you
Right.
elaborate further on
The
there?
coaching,
They
that's the
like that
coaching
personal
component.
touch.
Exactly.
So talk a little
Exactly.
bit more about that personal side, that matchmaking side. What does that look like?
Okay. So the matchmaking, it's important to understand. I always want to start with that. People come to me and they say, okay, I'm tired of looking. I'm tired of swiping. I tried dating. I get ghosted. I don't know what to do. I'm such a catch. Now I serve, you know, C-suite executive entrepreneurs who have everything but true love. And why? They're busy. They're busy. They don't have no time to really allow themselves to date as they should. And I was, that's a discussion they and I have. But it's very
Right.
important to understand that you have to treat your love life or future love life or your current that you wish to have love life. You have to treat it like your business life. You give your all to your job, right? You give your
Mhm.
all to your career. You're ambitious. You want to be creator. You want to be like a superstar. Well, guess what? Those same rules apply to your personal life, to your how you craft your time, how you allow yourself to date and be seen. If you're not in it, you're not going to win it, as they say, right? In
Right.
lotto.
That's right.
Same rule apply here. So where this is where matchmaking comes. It's for busy individuals who don't have the time or really just want like the white glove service. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
okay, and that's fine because that's what they decided, and they just want to basically have an opportunity to meet people. Now, this is not only about meeting people. It's very important to understand about matchmaking because if you already not successful in dating and you are still single, that means there's something is wrong, not with you, but with
Right.
your choices. If
Right.
you keep attracting the wrong people that are not, uh, exclusive or not family material or not interested in forever after or just for a quickie or casual dating, and if you are in fact looking for someone who is really family oriented, want to get married, have family, these are different people completely. So if you
Right.
attracting for some reason the others, that means we need to unroll this and like I work with people to figure it out what it is that they why they attracting the wrong people and more importantly how to attract the right people
Right.
strategically. So believe it or not, there's a lot of strategy involved. Just like in business, there's strategies. In love, there's also strategies. So again, if you willing to self-invest because you know you deserve it, because you know you're destined to love and be loved, and you're destined to have that family or whatever partnership, companionship that you wish that obviously because I cater to people 30 plus,
Mm-hmm.
more like 35 plus to whenever. I mean,
Right.
seriously, whenever, because I had actually matched a couple years ago who were in their 80s. That's
Nice.
till whatever, and they will
It's never
till
too
death
late.
do their part. They were together for till the end. So I'm
Right.
saying there's no number. And when people come to me, older version, generations, they come to me and say, "Allah, I don't believe it." Like especially if they're widowers and widows, and they come
Right.
to me, "My ship sailed. I'm never gonna find anybody. Blah blah. I'm too old." Nonsense. You are as old as what you believe or as old as how you feel at heart.
Right.
If you are still that playful and that robust individual and doing things and you're a mover and shaker and you enjoy life, why not enjoy it with someone else that you could actually have fun with? There's like
Right.
no limits here, no boundary. The only boundaries you set for yourself of no, I can't. That's that's
Yeah.
wrong thinking. You have to be allow yourself to live fully, flavorfully,
I love that.
really enjoy every morsel, untie yourself, like let yourself go free.
Yeah.
It's liberation of the best kind, but to be mindful of your direction, have
Yeah.
clarity where you are, where you want to be, where you want to go, who you want to go with.
Right.
That those are questions you have to ask yourself
Yeah.
before you're getting there. But if you have trouble even, formulating this, like you don't know what the right answer, what the wrong answer, that's where coaching comes in because we
Yeah.
listen, we hear you, and we always put you on the right path to your success. Because I would say your success is my success. Obviously, I'm like
That's right.
I am all in with all my clients. It's like, um, I love, first of all, I love my job. I don't find it to be a job, honestly, because I
Nice.
love what I do. And to me, when I transform lives, it's like, oh, I can't, it's just so gratifying. It's like explosive. I can't even like say enough about this. And
Yeah.
I find that to be the most gratifying experience to helping
Yeah.
someone find love or better themselves with the self-love, self-energy, self-care.
Where it
These all
starts.
because exactly it all begins with us. So another person will not complete you if you're broken inside, if you're bringing baggage from your old relationship that hasn't been settled and you still
Mhm.
hate him or her. And guess what, all of that will trickle back with you until you put that to rest. And
Right.
I know, heavier, easier said than done. But
Yes.
if you take actions, steps forward to be done with that part of your life, it's just continuously going to be robbing you of your energy, and you're going to be, you'll be depressed. And
Yeah.
I have to tell you, like a lot of people don't understand that love is tangible. And people tell me, "Oh, it's okay. I don't need it. I'll figure it out." When they first meet me, they say, "Oh, you can you introduce me to somebody?" And then I'm saying, "Well, yeah, but let's just figure it
Right.
out." because I don't want. I mean, this is what's going to happen. If I would introduce them without the coaching component, that next date will be like the others.
Right.
My purpose is when I introduce them, the idea is the first date will be their last because they'll have
Mm,
of how to go to that date, what to say, what not to say, when not to say. All those little pieces make
yeah.
huge difference and have that engagement going, that flow, the
Right.
conversation, the excitement. You want to have that all that rapport. You want that meshing, and it's like you want this loving, interaction.
Right.
Obviously, if there's a spark, but generally, and that's another thing. I always tell people, just because, let's say by a photo, they say, well, he's not my type, she's not my type. I know this is another reason why I do not match right away. I need to know my clients. And after
Right.
a couple of sessions, once I know them a little bit, then I'm very clear who
Right.
will be. So when I match, it's usually one and done,
Gotcha. I
you
love
know?
that.
But that's not going to happen if I don't know a person. So you take a chance. So technically, if that's what the person wants, and just go on multiple dates, and they're just going to be for the sake of it, they're not going to get anywhere. I mean,
Right.
maybe it just happens to be some, surprise attraction. Like, but again, you have to go beyond the attraction. You
That's
have
it.
to. It's all in the heart. You have to realize that there's more to just aesthetics because
Right.
that's ever changing. We're not staying this way, unfortunately.
That's
We're
right.
growing,
Time does
and
not stand still as much as we try to make it stand still. It doesn't.
exactly, exactly. So
Yeah.
you have to really get in. You have to find your best friend. It all begins with that. That's the foundation of the most healthiest relationship. And you have to look at the person as an individual, not your dream love, not your mommy. Your
Or your
mommy.
dad, or your, that's right.
Right, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
the phrase goes, not your son's future father, or
Right.
you,
Right.
you know you can't look at it that way. You have to just take it for what it is. It's just a meeting, hopefully of the minds, hopefully of the heart, but just take it easy. Don't like over get anxious about it because you'll sabotage it.
Yes.
And so going back again to the matchmaking component, you really need to understand that without that coaching piece, especially
Mm-hmm.
if you've been single for so many years and you have not kept the relationship for more than 2 weeks to 3 months, that is definitely a problem. And there's something within that we need to unravel to figure it out, why
Yeah.
you are like this, why it hasn't happened, or it's maybe you're obviously usually it's self-sabotage for
Mm-hmm.
whatever reasons, and that's why people cannot move forward. Or there's shyness, there's always rejection, lack of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
People really have problems of internalizing rejection, and that's something
Yeah.
also we work with because, again, I help them make rejection their best friend, and they don't even feel
Mm.
they're rejected. They feel like, okay, I can handle this because we do different exercises,
Yeah.
and always keeping them accountable. It's very important. People have to know that this is a recipe for success. Like anything in life, it's like they would give all of them to their businesses. So the
Right.
same idea, you have to give it to yourself so that you
Yeah.
would be in that relationship. And with coaching, you can get there quicker versus you plowing through it and like a dead end because you don't know if you're doing everything the right way, or
Right.
your single friends, they know as much as you do. I can
Right.
guarantee you that. Or if you go to your family, you're going to be shunned. They go, oh, you're still single. We don't
Right.
want that either.
Right.
So it's
Right.
like usually, so people come to me like a confidant, like you mentioned earlier, Kim, and that's another piece of it. The high end positioned people who are in the higher circles, they just don't have anybody to speak with because
Mm.
confidentiality, and they don't want to share basically about their they're sad, lonely
Right.
inside. So this is
Right.
again going back to the tangible life. Why tangible? People say, oh well, I'll invest in, let's say, business coach or another executive coach, but no, love, it's okay, I don't need it. I'm amazing, I'm going to get it eventually. God has plans for me. You know what?
Mhm.
God has plans for those who help themselves. Okay, that's what I always say. God has, yes, but God likes to, for you to take the initiative. to move forward, to
Yeah.
help yourself, because that God helps everybody, but more so for those who help themselves. So don't fall into the trap of saying, "Oh, God has plans for me." You know, God has a lot of people to work with. You're going to be God knows on what line. I mean, life is not that long. Let's be
Right.
honest,
Right.
right?
You're right.
So here is the tangible piece. If you do not take care of your inner love for yourself
Right.
and your happiness, and what is happiness for you, because everybody has individual choice and individual
Definitions of what happiness means to them. Yeah.
once you get clear on that, and if you are missing that piece, and that piece usually, unfortunately, is with another human because you're lonely. You could be a corporate career person. You have everything in your life. You love your life. You have friends. You have more friends than you can imagine. But you don't have a companion. You don't have a person of your heart that can hold your heart, that you can come home to, that could give you, hugs and kisses and cuddle. I mean, on a rainy day. That's the piece that's will drag you emotionally down. Anxiety, stress equals mental health, depression, mental illness.
Yes.
That's how tangible love is.
Yes. Yes, I absolutely love every single thing that you are saying. You have just unpacked so much because it's about transparency. It's about being able to, and if you can't look yourself in the mirror and be able to articulate who you are, then how can we come to you and tell you our heart? Like you said, if we're so guarded that we're not willing to open up, we have to have a confidant. We have to have somebody that we can open up to if we're seeking to get to that next level. And just like you said, when you're talking about executives, you're talking about people who have limited time, and so they're
Exactly.
going to have to open up their schedule because you can't tell me that you want love but you haven't made any time for it. If you never are going, if you've never gone on vacation, even if you're going on vacation by yourself, even if you're just choosing that I need to take some time off, if you're not doing that and you're a workaholic and you're working consistently, when are you even creating opportunities for love to come in? And so
Right.
I'm sure that you see by having you as a coach, you're going to ask those questions because sometimes people don't consider that. I want love, but have you made space? Have you
Right.
created space for this love to bloom? You can't
Right.
tell me that you want a
Right.
garden and you've got a whole bunch of weeds and you can't
Correct.
even get through the dirt to plant a seed. So
Right.
how you're not giving me anything to work with? You know.
Absolutely.
So
Spot
I
on.
love that you
Spot
say that. It
on.
is.
People just don't craft time for their dating life, and they don't craft and you know what, the truth, this is actually not only the truth, it's pity. It's a pity because at the end of the day, under deathbed, nobody's going to say, "Oh, I wish I would spend more time at the office." Nobody's going to say that. They're going to live with the regrets of not creating that family, of not creating that love life, of not feeling that love at least once in your lifetime, not being fully, completely loved, and you to love back someone on that level that you kind of feel like you're one. This is like you're robbing yourself of this amazing emotion that could be yours if you would make time for it, or if you're willing to invest in yourself, or at least do whatever you need to do to get there. I mean, but consciously, you need to basically deal with your fears,
Yes.
because and you have to stop over analyzing, self-sabotaging. You have to start moving forward. Baby steps are better than no steps.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be, go to some event, go socialize, mingle, go to networking events with hopes of meeting someone. That's usually happens as well.
Mhm.
I do actually also events. I forgot to mention that. I've been putting them on the back burner because actually that's was pre-COVID. It's probably I mentioned that during our first session together.
Yes.
As an event producer, I've done a lot of nonprofit events mostly, but I've done also networking events in the past. And now I do like as a love coach, I do VIP mingle, sip and
Nice.
sizzle, mingle, kind of events. Mostly locally, but I hope to go global.
Yeah.
I am a global love coach, so the event piece is no different because I happen to
Right.
travel globally, like you, Kim.
Yes.
I travel a lot
Everywhere.
globally.
Yeah,
And that
but
is
just like
that.
you said, again, it goes back to the transparency. It goes back to people being honest with themselves about what they want, creating boundaries, knowing how to say no. All of those things begin to intersect at some
Yeah,
point.
they
And so
do.
we have to be able to get to a place where we're not just answering questions on a survey or answering questions on that AI platform and putting down the answers that we think that people want to hear instead of being honest
No,
about how we feel about that, because when
no,
those filters start to come in, you want people to be able to combine with people who are being honest with themselves. You have people who will take personality tests and things of that nature, and they're just
exactly.
putting down, well, what answer do I think that they're going to say is the right answer? That's not what
No.
they're asking you. It's your truth. It's
Yes.
your
Yes.
truth. And I think that people have to get to that place of realizing and recognizing what their truth is, because again, until you until you have that love for yourself, however you're treating yourself is how you're giving permission for others to treat you. So if you treat
Absolutely.
yourself like garbage and you don't see yourself as
Indeed.
a good and whole and beautiful human, you're giving other people permission to say the same. Because they're like, if you treat yourself like that, I can treat you like that too. And so
Exactly.
that's something we want to get people away from. I love that we're having this conversation, because it goes back to people being honest with themselves. When we were in COVID and we had to sit in our homes, we had to we had to sit down with ourselves. And some people were like, I don't like being by myself. I don't like being with myself. I've used other people
Yeah.
to mask or to have or
I
to
was about to
avoid
say
having to
mask.
deal with me.
Exactly.
Right. And so
Exactly.
if I'm avoiding dealing with myself, what is another person going to do when it comes to dealing with me? They're not going to want to deal with me either if I don't want to deal with myself. So it all goes back, like you said, to that self-love. It all goes back to
Yeah.
establishing those boundaries and those things for yourself first. Then we
And
can
knowing
move
that you're
forward.
worthy. You're God's child. We're all made from love. So you will
Yes.
have to understand that you are worthy just for being alive. You're
Yeah.
worthy. You not only allow, you have to allow it yourself and demand that life for yourself because
Right.
you
It's like
are
you said, you got to
worthy.
get out. You have to get out of your own head. You have to get
Yeah.
out of your own head. We have to get out of our own way. Sometimes we're, like you said, we self sabotage all of the time. Like you said, when we go out on a date or like that, go out with an open mind and an open heart, and just say, I'm just going out to have a good dinner.
Right.
Make sure you order
Exactly.
something delicious, something that, or
Right.
something that you haven't had before, so you can at least say, oh, it was a terrible date. Well, at least, was the food good? Was the ambiance good? Was it a place that you would go back to? Do you see what I'm saying? What else
Yeah.
could you get out of the experience besides just that interaction? Or if you can, you say, that person was pretty cool. Maybe we didn't have that love connection, but we at least had an
We're friendship.
opportunity
Maybe,
to
yeah,
share a
to
nice
grow
meal.
from it.
That person is smart, or that person, can connect me with somebody at their job. I'm looking for a new career. I'm looking to do
There
something
you
different.
go.
We
Yeah.
have to see more in
Yeah.
those relationships, and I love that you mentioned that, because it's more than just the love connection. It's the
Well,
establishment of a relationship and
right.
interaction with another human being. What can we say we got out of that? I love that.
Exactly. Thank you. Relationships are all begin with self. So relationship with self, self-love, and self-care, self-worthiness all begins there. Then it trickles into others. Your relation with your friends, with
Right.
your family. It's the same thing. You just have to take a notch further. And the
That's it.
companionship, the love life hits, and people just generally just don't know how to date well, and that's the problem. So in terms of our application, it's been at least created for the meaningful connection. So the people at least have opportunity to use it on a meaningful side and see how they can connect. And my guide is available again to get them through at least how to create the profile, what to say, what not to say, just the little dynamics. But more importantly, you just be, understanding that life is short. Today
Yeah,
is the day. Don't leave it for tomorrow. We don't know what tomorrow. Look at the crazy world we live in, for God's
that's
sakes.
right.
Everything
That's right.
changes. Like, new law, new bill, new nothing,
That's right.
something else is closed, somebody else deported. Before you know it, who knows? We just
We
don't
about
know.
we
You
don't
have
know.
we have to take the opportunity and just say to yourself every morning, so wake up with gratitude for the little things you have.
That's
Be
right.
thankful for the day that you, like my late grandfather used to say, I opened my eyes. Thank God. I'm happy in the
Yeah.
morning. You
Yeah.
know, it's like so, yeah, and you know what? This is really what it is. It's just we have to internalize who we are, what we have, and the little blessings that we're life are filled with, and just be grateful for that. And the
Yeah.
rest, guess what? We manifest.
There you go. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, this has just been such a wonderful conversation because it's all about options too. We're not limited to the ways in which we can interact. Like I said, we're only limited when we don't step outside. That's
Yeah.
when we limit ourselves. When we isolate ourselves and not give ourselves opportunities to be out there. Go outside and just get some vitamin D. If you don't meet anybody, you could at least say that you went outside and you got some sun, you got a good walk in. So you have to
Yeah.
start looking at things from a different perspective, looking at things through a
Right.
different lens and saying, okay, no, maybe I didn't find that person today, but at least I did something I loved on
For
myself,
me, I
for
did something
me.
for me.
That's it.
That's the
So the
key.
love affair that I had started with me first.
Because I deserve it. I'm
That's
amazing.
right.
I am loved.
Exactly.
I am love. You gotta
Right.
like use those that terminology to associate yourself with and start believing it. And I know in the
Yeah.
beginning it's hard. So get your vision board up there. Get something that inspires you daily. Something that you would like go into a bathroom and put like a sticky on your
Right.
mirror and like
That's right.
and look at something that's meaningful to you. And just
That's
like
it.
it will be your reminder that you could
Right.
do better. You could
Right.
do much better. And where you
Right.
are today is probably amazing already. It
Yeah.
probably is. But it doesn't mean there's no room for growth and there's no room for better. There's always room for better. You
That's
just
it.
have to embrace it and allow it into your life, into your heart, into your mind, and
Right.
know that there are opportunities out there and relationships to be built, professional ones.
Right.
Like Kim and I, perfect example. We tell
That's
each other,
it.
but
That's right. We did. And here we are again sharing space. And it's a beautiful thing. Like you said, when you can establish relationship because you never know how it's going to end. Some people just like they say, I married my best friend. You see, they started out with a friendship. They didn't start out as a relationship. It started as a friendship and it manifested. It grew. They,
yeah,
they were able to build on that. So you just never know what it's going to start with. The plant doesn't just, the tree doesn't just start out as a 10-foot or 30-foot tree. It starts out
yeah,
as a seed. It has to grow. It
exactly.
has to be watered. It has to have sunlight. It has to be fed. All of those
Yeah,
things have to happen in order for it to grow. We want to go
right.
from 0 to 100, in an instant. And everything is a process and it takes time. And so we have to be patient in that. And we have to be able to, again, feed ourselves in different ways so that when we are loving on ourselves, then it exudes out of us. And then people begin to see that. They're like, there's something about that person. There's that aura about them. There's something about them that just radiates. There's something. And that's some of that is just self love. I'm pleased,
Yeah,
I'm happy. And people begin to pick up on that. And that's
yeah,
what attracts people to you as well. Because they're like, wait, there's
exactly.
something about that person. The way she walks or the way he
The
moves, there's just something. And you're just
attitude,
like,
the
wow,
aura, the
It's
vibe, right? Absolutely.
yeah,
But a lot of people, again, struggle with that piece, believe it or not.
yeah,
There's a lot of not enough self love going on in the world. And people still struggle to this day because, again, they come from maybe a broken home where there was not enough love, or maybe they never had love. And
yeah,
they struggle today as a result of that. But it doesn't mean that that narrative cannot be rewritten. The
that's
bottom
right.
line is get help that somebody can help you re write that narrative so you don't have to be stuck in the past but actually move to the future
That's
happily
right.
and
That's right.
really take your life for what it's been given to you, a gift,
That's
and
it.
make something of it that you actually want. Now people tell me, oh Allah, I'm single and I'm happy being single, and that's okay. If
That's
that's
it.
truly deep down that you know, it's because you are actually are happy and that's real truth. If you're honest with yourself, because a lot of times I know from experience, many say to me or had said to me, I'm happy being single. Only after a few months, a little bit. Well, that's because I can't find anybody. Aha.
Okay.
So
Right.
who are you kidding? Why, hide because you're looking for the right person and you're waiting for God to present? No, present for yourself. Do self, evaluation. Do self audit. I always say self audit. Where I am. Am I happy? What I want? Do I want something else? maybe even in a relationship that I'm already at, maybe it's just not as good as it should be or could
Yeah.
be. That's another
Right.
step. I mean, I do counseling for couples as well,
Love it.
as a side. I mean, as needed, but
Mm.
mostly I deal with singles. But it's important to understand that your union, it takes two people that have to come in 100% to make the union
Right.
yummy. And
Yeah.
you only together can do this. So if one going to be, sending you bad vibes or telling you, oh, it's your fault or whatever, not take advantage, or I mean, responsibility rather, and putting all the burden on you, then it's not equal, and therefore
Right.
the
There's no
relationship will
boundary.
suffer. So you'll have to again find some common denominator together, go to counseling, go figure it out. But you don't have to live in the world of suffering as a
Right.
couple. And many people do. And why? I don't know why. I mean, communication obviously broken a lot of times, broken, but it's
Right.
okay. It's repairable if they're both willing to do it. And the other piece is like you have to remember that you cannot lose your individuality as a
Of course.
couple. It's
Of course.
critical for the health of your couple. And actually, that's what I tell my singles. You have to, a lot of singles come to me, oh, I'm actually happy being single because if I'm going to get attached to someone, I'm not going to be able to do anything I want to do. And I enjoy going with my guy friends skiing, for instance. That's nonsense. Of course, if you are transparent with your partner and
Right.
say, hey, I had a life before you, and I'd like to keep it to some extent, you're
Right.
welcome to share it with me, and vice versa. And
Right.
at least you do things together and you could do
Coming in
things,
hands.
but you
Right.
have to discuss these things,
Right.
communicate, and
Communication.
together you can. So again, as a single going into a partnership, keep your individuality, enjoy those pieces for healthy, because it's again, you want to be confident in your relationship. It can be jealousy, unless it's a healthy jealousy, a little bit's okay, but you can't be, jealousy, hard jealousy destructs.
Yeah.
And going into a relationship that already you feel you don't trust that person, because jealousy, what is it? It equals distrust. And if you're
Right.
already distrusting, why would you want to be long term with that person? If
That's
that
right.
person is giving you a reason why you feel jealous, it's something toxic going on there. So you need to
Right.
like remove yourself from that situation, or speak
Right.
with that person, be open. Hey, you're not making me feel good when you say this and that,
That's it.
or maybe we should see someone and discuss this. And if they're going to say, well, nothing wrong with me, it's you, that's your exit, that's your
Right.
red flag. If it's
Right.
consistent, because why waste time with someone who doesn't value you, who doesn't bring anything into your life?
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, you also want to have some intimacy, and if you don't have that connection, I mean, again, it's repairable if you both are willing to do this. So I help people so they don't have to live like siblings if they're in partnership.
I love that. I love that. Like I said, honey, we can sit here and talk all day, all
Yeah,
night, for hours and
exactly.
hours. But like I said, I appreciate this conversation because it is the start of building something, like you said, that's going to create your happily ever after. That's going to build on anything. If anything, you'll learn how to love more on yourself. And
Yes.
then again, those other things will follow, those other things will manifest themselves. So before we wrap things up, I want people to find out how they can get in contact with you. I know we have on the screen your website, www.allafinecoaching.com. I know you mentioned the AI certification program. Tell them a little
Yes.
bit about that and other ways that they can get in contact
Yes.
with
You can just you can just go to the website. It's appatme.com, and you can download. Basically, once you go to that website, it'll open up to your store, like whether you're an iPhone or Android. So it
you.
immediately takes you, based on your phone model, takes you directly to your particular app store for instant download. So it's very simple. Okay,
Okay.
so it's
And it's
appatme.com. Very easy to remember.
okay, is that APPATME, app at me? Okay, app
Yes,
at me.com. So you know how to get
right.
in contact with her. Okay, and as I ask all of my guests, how are you living in the now? What are you doing to navigate in this space and in this climate that we're in right now?
How I, in terms of You mean how I navigate?
Yes. How are you living in the now? Yes, yes, you personally, how are you doing? What are some things that you do
Okay.
to navigate in this space, whether it's meditation or whether it's anything that you do that helps you to, create your peaceful existence, to cope?
Okay. So personally, I also wake up with gratitude. And I wake up with gratitude and just be grateful for things that that are in my life, people in my life, more importantly, and where I am and where I'd like to be. I manifest that as part of the gratitude component, kind of a mix it all up. And that's like begins my day, and I'm just with gratitude. That's with a heart full of gratitude,
I love that.
and I just move forward in. I believe that whatever happens in life happens for a reason. I believe we meet people for a reason. Everybody who walks through our lives will be there either for a reason, for a season, for a lifetime, but
That's
it's there's always a purpose, and you just take it from what it is and make that relationship. It doesn't have to be, like, again, long term or whatever, but at least you learn something, you grow from that experience, you
yeah,
enjoy that experience, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but at least it makes you grow. There's always some kind of a growth component and a life lesson behind it. So it's okay where we're at today, but as long as you continue growing, and things present themselves. So I open the doors by doing these events. I do a lot of events, I've done in the past, and I'm looking to do more events, like networking events mostly, as well as the love events for my
that's
VIPs. Those
right.
but also, I'm going to be doing events like more sip and sizzle, to combine the
Nice.
two pieces, just to give singles an opportunity to kind of meet up those who are actually looking to enjoy and afraid to, to openly go into a space because they're like, oh, I don't know.
Right.
People get that. There's
Yes.
like a lot of
Yes.
fear going on there. But so for me, I think again, when people ask me in the short form, like people let's say meet me outside, it's like, so what do you do, Alla? I said, I transform lives.
That's it.
And
That's it.
that's it. I
That's it.
transform
Yes.
lives.
You
I know it's a
transform.
mouthpiece, and I know it's huge. And you know what? It's an opener. It's an opener. How do I do that? But I do it
That's
on
it.
so many different levels.
That's
I'm
it.
I could be a parenting coach because I'm an amazing parent, not because I'm self glorifying here, but actually because I have amazing kids. And people always tell me, "How did you do that? Can you tell me how you did this? Because I want to have kids like yours." I get that all the time, and since they were young, since they were like, I don't know, third grade. I mean, even younger. I always get this like, what do you do with them? How did they're so nice. They like, they're so nice to elders. They're so respectful. How do you do that?
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it's just like natural. And like for me, it's just
Yeah.
natural upbringing the way I was brought up. So it's my own thing.
Yeah.
But even now, they're going to be, one of them is graduating college this May,
Nice. Nice.
university, is going to law school. you
Nice.
know, and the other one, it has one more year in college, and there's such a great kids, and I'm blessed mama. I am so blessed. I mean,
That's
like to me,
it.
that's
Amen.
number one, and we're a big traveling family, so we're actually going to Europe again this summer coming up.
Nice.
Yeah,
But just like you
so
say, you're transforming lives one relationship at a time. And like I said, there are so many different dynamics to the relationships. So that's the blessing. That's the beauty in all of it. That's all encompassing of love and what you're doing and what you're providing. So like
right.
I said, I want to thank you again for sharing space with me, for
Of
coming back to the
course.
show. You know that you are part of the How Now family, so you're always welcome back because what's
Thank you so
happening, just like we learned, 2 minutes, 2 2 months, 2 hours, 2 years from now may not be
much.
what's happening right now. So you're always welcome to come back and share what things
Yeah.
are going on in your now. So again, thank you so much for all that you're doing, for the lives that you're transforming, for the difference that you're making to the people that are around you. Again, you'll make sure that you check out her website, www.allafinecoaching.com, and that you go to appatme.com and, you know, find out about her products and services. And if you're looking for that happily ever after, this is your girl. Okay. All right, dear. Thank you so much for being with us. And that will do it for the How Now podcast, where we talk about how to live in the now. And until I see you all the next time, I say peace.